everyone, this is Lisa Marie from Artistry by Lisa Marie. Welcome to the studio. Okay, last time I talked about drawing the frontal view of an eye right there, where it's looking straight at you. Today we're going to look at a 3/4 view of an eye. So imagine you have a head and it just turns slightly. So it's not in complete profile, but just a little bit turned. And that is a 3/4 view. So we're going to jump right in with a teardrop shape. So just take my pencil, gonna just draw the top part and the bottom part of a teardrop. Next, gonna make a little U shape right here towards the bottom or base part of this teardrop. There we go, little U. Next, I know this is so simple, right? We're gonna draw, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's kind of an elongated U. We're gonna mirror this curve right here, right up here, with another U. So here and here. I know it just looks so wonky. It looks so funny right now, but this is a simple way to draw a 3/4 view of an eye. Next, we're gonna draw a large circle, a medium circle, and a small circle. And the large circle doesn't fit in our teardrop. So it's actually going to look like it's coming or kind of going out of the teardrop a little bit. So I guess you could also call it a very, very wide U if you want, because we're cutting off the top of it. But what we're going to do is go towards more the center of this teardrop shape. So this would be the center right here. And this is where we're going to start that circle, that big circle. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. Just sketch it out, have fun, relax. It's all in fun. No one needs perfect. Nature doesn't even do perfect. There's the big circle. The little circle is going to go off to the side. Little circle. And then the medium circle can go right there. And there you have a sort of a pencil line drawing of an eye, but we're not quite done yet with our lines. So now we're going to add the top part, so the eyelid part. And what we're going to do is mirror this line. We're going to just sort of trace this line, but a little bit above it. So you go, you just draw a line. And then, because we have this funky shape here, I'm going to trace that. And then if you really want to be fancy, you can do that. But you don't have to. Then for the bottom part of the eye, we're going to have another little line very close to that bottom line, following right along it, but not quite touching it. And then another line, but now this line is not going to mirror it completely. It's going to go away a little bit. So start here. We're not following. We're just going to do that. If you do something that completely follows this line, it'll look like you have dark baggy eyes, which as a mom, I'm well aware of how those look. They do happen, but we're not going to do that today. Then we're also going to add a little line mirroring that. And there you have a pencil line drawing of a 3/4 view of an eye. Come on, 3/4. But we don't want to stop there. We want to go next level with some shading and, make it look a bit more, say, three-dimensional. So in order to do that, we have to know our light source. Light source is going to have some rays of light coming down. Pew, pew, pew. There's some rays of light. They're hitting the eye right there. Now that we know where our light is coming from, we can sort of mark in or map out our shadows with the pencil. And what I'm going to do is just go, okay, well, if the light's coming from here, then this part of the eye, since it's curving in right here, that would have a shadow. This part of the eye, since it's curving in, would have a shadow. That going. This part would have a shadow right here. Wherever the light wouldn't be able to touch because the eye is a ball, that's where I'm just going to quickly put in some shadow. This inner section, this little itty bitty space right there, that's going to be in shadow. So we're going to add some shadow in there. This bottom line right here, the light can't touch it because the eye's coming out. So this would be casting a shadow. And this casting a shadow. Here we're going to have a little bit of shadow just because it's out a bit, not much. This line, this teardrop, the front of the teardrop, shadow. And now the inside of the eye. So this top part, this eyelid, it's coming out. It's catching the light, which means it's casting a shadow or stopping the light from getting down here. So we're gonna, yes, that's my creaky studio chair. Should get a new one, but my kids really like this chair. It's on wheels and they love it. Okay, so it's casting a shadow there. It would cast a shadow up here. Not so much casting a shadow right here, because remember, this part is already catching the light, or stopping the light, catching the shadow, making shadows. So that would come out a little bit more, and it's going to hit the light. This bottom part of the eye, however, remember, the eye is a ball, the eye is round. The light wouldn't come down here as much. So, and for pencil marks, you could do cross hatching. You could do these little just, squiggle pencil marks that I do. You could do dots, which would be called stippling. And there you have just 3/4 view of an eye with a little bit of shading. You can also, since the center of the eye is dark, go ahead, add a little bit of darkness right there. And if you hear that meowing, that's my cat. I promise you he has been fed. He's just acting like he has not been fed. And he doesn't care that I'm recording because he's a cat and he does whatever he wants. Okay, so now we have some basic shading for this eye as well. What you do, if you want to soften this at all, you can keep this nice rough sketch look. Sometimes I really like having a nice sketchy look. If you want to smooth it, get a paintbrush. It's one of the, or you can also get a pencil blender. I mean, there's so many things you can do. I love paintbrushes. I love getting paintbrushes in different shapes and different sizes, just because then it gives me a little diversity and some choices in my coloring. And I go right over the graphite pencil and it softens. Doesn't completely take away the pencil lines, which is fine because this is a sketch and this is for fun. But it does soften those pencil lines quite a bit. Wherever you have shadow or shading, just get on in there with the paintbrush or whatever blender you're using and soften it. Soften that center part of the eye too if you want. Here we go. And this is the part where you go, oh no, I smudged too much, I blended everything everywhere, and now it just looks messy. Take an eraser. This is my Mono Zero eraser. You could also use a kneaded eraser and just, twist it to the shape you want. And just erase where you want it to be nice and bright or white. And of course, that would be wherever the light is really hitting the eye. So that top lid is catching the eye a bit more. This part coming out, that's going to catch the light a little bit more. This bottom, very bottom part of the eye that comes out, that would catch the light a little bit more. The white of the eye itself, you want that maybe a little bit whiter, a little bit brighter. Just erase. Go. Then imperfections are everywhere. There we go. Never touch your paper like I just did. Use a paintbrush or something else to swipe it away. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, next we want to go. So now you have, the next level for an eye, next layer. You want to go next level. You want to add a little bit more detail. Absolutely. So first we can darken the shadows and we can add texture to this part of the eye if you want. So to add texture to the eye, the colored part of the eye, maybe darken this large circle a bit. It's one way you can get it to stand out. And then we can also draw lines going from the outside line towards the center. And to do that, it's as easy as it sounds. You just draw lines, lots of little lines, going from the outside towards the center. And they don't have to be exactly the same. It's better if they're not the same. They can all be different sizes, different widths, different lengths. The center, of course, since it's black, you can just darken it a little bit more. And again, we can go back with our pencil and darken the shadows. And one thing to keep in mind when you're doing any shading or you're trying a new drawing technique is don't go too dark too fast. You can always go back with your pencil and add more shadow. You are absolutely allowed to go slow and have fun. But for darker areas, go back and wherever the light really isn't going to reach, so this inside curve of the eyelid, for example, add a bit more pencil. And you're just layering graphite. You're just layering pencil on the paper. This back corner right here, the light really wouldn't get to that because it's all the way over here. You darken that a little bit more. You can darken over here a little bit more. And you can go up here a little bit if you want with your shadow. This part can be a little bit darker. The light wouldn't really reach all the way over there. Down here in this little corner, you can just keep going and going. You can darken these lines a bit more if you want. And that gives you a nice texture in the eye. And then just go back with your blender, whatever blender you're using. If you want to soften the shadows, again, you don't have to. If you love seeing those pencil marks, then keep them. That's a gorgeous look sometimes. The sketchy pencil look where you can see the artist's hand, that's beautiful. You don't have to blend if you don't want to. It's your art. Have fun. I am here, though, softening these lines inside the eye. Smooth that a bit. And my paintbrush, I use it so often, it actually has graphite on it. So something else you can do if you really want some sort of soft shadow is I can just go up with my paintbrush. I can get some extra shadow just from the paintbrush itself, from all the graphite that I have on it. You know you use something a lot when it has a bunch of pencil already on it. I love my paintbrushes. Okay, so there we go. Then say we want a bit more contrast between dark and light. Just go back, get your eraser, whatever eraser you have. And again, this circle, by the way, you can extend it. It doesn't have to stay a circle. It can be a long dash. It can be a funky U shape. It can be any shape you want because it's just reflecting the light. Then, remember, we want to go back, get any extra highlights that we really want for contrast between dark and light. We'll make sure we get it in there. Top line a little bit more. And then these inner lines of the eye, the ones that go from the outside towards the center, you can take your eraser if you want a little more variation in the lighting and add a little bit of texture. And again, you're just doing the lines from the outside to the center, or from the center to the outside, whatever you prefer. But there you have it. I mean, you get a nice 3/4 view of an eye. Now, some people don't want to draw eyelashes. I absolutely respect that. Leonardo da Vinci didn't really draw eyelashes, so if he didn't have to do it, then I don't really think you have to do it if you don't want to. Go look at the Mona Lisa sometime. She does not have eyelashes. But if you do want eyelashes, I'm just softening this a little bit because I can't help myself. If you do want eyelashes, just remember they are unique, individual strands of hair, and they each do what they want to do, and they don't care about their neighbor. So, eyelashes will grow out, 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 and then, like rays of a sun, if you ever look at a little drawing of a sun where the rays go around, that's what eyelashes are doing around an eyeball. They're going around the eyeball. So just like rays of that cartoon sun go around, eyelashes are going to go around the eyeball. So the outer eyelash, I don't know if you can really see my little lines, we're going to go down and up, but they're going their own way. Each one is an individual. You could have one going that way if you want. Each strand of hair is going to do its own thing. But remember, they're going around the eye. So whereas these lines are going that direction, the ones closest to the center are going to go basically straight up. And then the ones over here are going to go in this direction. They're individual strands of hair going around the eye. And this little U-shaped thing that we did, the eyelashes are just going to grow right out of that. You don't have to have a lot. If you don't want a lot, you can clump them together. If you want to clump them together, you can go more for a cartoon effect and have them uniform and all exactly the same, or very, very thick and dark. But eyelashes really don't follow a lot of rules. Just have fun. And then this bottom lid right here, their eyelashes are a bit more sparse. So they're going to follow the same rules. So they go out, 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 but there aren't going to be as many. And they're still, remember, going to be individual strands, each one doing their own thing. But there aren't going to be as many. They usually aren't as thick. You can always, remember, you can always go back and go darker. If you really want to darken those eyelashes, go ahead, go for it. But there you have it, a quick, fun, and easy way to draw a 3/4 view of an eye. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. Remember to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video, and stay creative.